Back in her village, people say that sometimes, late at night, near the rivers, you can hear footsteps on water, and the faint voice crying, "I want to go home. Take me home." But the wind always carries the same answer back. There is no going back. Long before the Harmattan winds began to whisper secrets through the tall Iroko trees, there lived a girl in a quiet village surrounded by thick forests and red earth paths. Her name was Adana. Adana was not just beautiful. She was the kind of beauty that made people pause mid-sentence. Her skin glowed like polished bronze under the sun. Her eyes were large and soft like a deer's, and her long dark hair flowed like a river down her back. When she walked through the marketplace, traders forgot to call out their prices, and young men stumbled over their words. From childhood, Adana knew she was different. Her mother, Mama Adana, made sure she knew it too. "Do not settle for less," her mother would always whisper while braiding her hair. "You were not born to suffer like other women. You will marry wealth. You will marry power." And so, Adana grew up not just beautiful, but proud. When Adana came of age, suitors began to arrive. They came from nearby villages, strong farmers with barns full of yams. They came from distant towns, traders with bags of cowries and fine cloths. They even came from noble families, men with titles and land. But Adana always found a reason to reject them. "This one is too dark," she would say. "That one is too short. He laughs too loudly. He doesn't have enough land." Her mother encouraged it. "Yes, my daughter," Mama Adana would nod. "We are not desperate. Let them go. A greater man will come." Years passed. Suitors stopped coming as frequently. Whispers began to spread through the village. "She is too proud. No man is ever good enough for her. Even beauty fades." But Adana did not care. Her mirror still showed perfection, and her mother still filled her ears with dreams of riches. From childhood, people admired her, but as she grew, admiration slowly turned into fear. Adana did not greet people. In a village where respect was everything, where even a child bent slightly to greet elders, Adana walked past men and women as though they were dust beneath her feet. Old women would call out to her, "My daughter, greet your elders." She would stop, turn slowly, look them up and down, and then smack. "Is it greeting that will make me rich?" she would reply coldly before walking away. The elders would shake their heads. "This beauty will bring her trouble," they would whisper. It wasn't just the elders. Adana mocked girls her age without mercy. If a girl wore a simple wrapper, Adana would laugh loudly enough for everyone to hear. "Did you borrow that cloth from your grandmother?" she would say, covering her mouth as she laughed. If another girl dared to talk to a young man near her, Adana would step in, her voice sharp like a blade. "Leave him. He deserves someone beautiful, not you." Her words cut deep. Many girls avoided her completely. Some cried in silence after encountering her. But Adana did not care. To her, they were all beneath her. One day, a respected elder, an old man known for his wisdom, called her gently. "My child," he said, "beauty is like the morning dew. It does not last forever. Learn humility." Adana didn't even let him finish. She laughed, a loud, mocking laugh that echoed across the compound. "Old man, keep your advice for those who need it. I am not like others. My beauty will take me far beyond this village." A heavy silence fell. The elder looked at her for a long moment, then slowly nodded. "Then may your beauty lead you to where it truly belongs." No one understood his words at the time, but later they would. Instead of correcting her, Mama Adana encouraged her behavior. If anyone complained, she would wave it off. "They are jealous," she would say proudly. "Can they compare to my daughter?" When Adana insulted elders, her mother laughed. When she mocked other girls, her mother nodded in approval. "My daughter is simply speaking the truth." And so, Adana's pride grew unchecked, like a fire in dry grass. One evening, just as the sun dipped low and the sky turned blood orange, a stranger arrived. No one saw where he came from. No one knew his village. He simply appeared. He was perfect, tall, handsome beyond words, his skin smooth and unblemished, his voice deep and calm like distant thunder. He wore fine clothes no one in the village had ever seen, rich fabrics that shimmered strangely in the fading light. When he spoke, it was soft. "I have come to marry Adana." The entire village held its breath. Adana felt her heart race in a way it never had before. Finally, someone worthy. Her mother's eyes gleamed, not with love, but with greed. "What do you bring?" Mama Adana asked. The stranger smiled. "I will bring more than any man ever has." And he did. The next morning, gifts arrived. Boxes of gold ornaments, fine wrappers more beautiful than any cloth in the market, beads that shimmered like they held light inside them. No one knew who brought them. They simply appeared at their doorstep before sunrise. Mama Adana's greed grew. "This is the one," she declared. "No man richer than this exists." No one asked questions. Not where he came from, not who his people were, not why he never ate in public, not why he always avoided the hot afternoon sun. And so, the wedding was fixed. The day of the wedding arrived with an unnatural stillness. Even the birds were quiet. A strange cold breeze swept through the village despite the blazing sun. Villagers gathered, dressed in their finest clothes, whispering amongst themselves. Something did not feel right, but no one could say what. Then the groom's people arrived. At first it was distant, a faint sound, like footsteps, but too many. Then they appeared from the edge of the forest. A long procession, men and women dressed in ancient, tattered royal garments. Their clothes looked expensive, but old, too old. Their beads dragged across the ground, stained with something dark. Their movement was wrong, too slow, too stiff. And their faces, some smiled too widely, some had hollow eyes, some looked like shadows clung to their skin. A child screamed, but the sound died quickly in the heavy air. "This must be his royal family," Mama Adana quickly said, forcing a smile, though her hands trembled slightly. "Look at their garments." Adana felt a chill crawl up her spine. Still, the groom stood there, perfect as ever. They smiled. They greeted people politely. They spoke like well-trained nobles from a distant land. If not for the cold air that clung to them, no one would have suspected anything. Mama Adana relaxed. "You see," she whispered proudly to the villagers, "did I not tell you? My daughter has married into greatness." Adana herself felt uneasy, but she pushed it aside. The groom held her hand gently. His touch was cool, but not enough to alarm her. "You will be happy with me," he said softly. His smile was perfect. Tradition demanded that the bride follow her husband to his home. Immediately after the celebration, the groom turned to Adana. "It is time." Mama Adana hesitated. "So soon?" she asked. "Our people do not delay," one of the groom's kinsmen replied calmly. Their voices were steady, but something about them felt hollow. Still, the gifts, the wealth, the promise of a better life. Mama Adana forced a smile. "Go, my daughter. Do not forget me when you reach your husband's palace." Adana nodded, though a strange fear had begun to coil in her stomach. She stepped forward and followed them. At first, everything seemed normal. They walked along familiar village paths, the moon rising slowly above them. The groom's family walked in a long line, silent, composed, almost too synchronized. No one joked, no one laughed, no one spoke unless necessary. Adana tried to start a conversation. "Your village, is it far?" The groom smiled without looking at her. "Not too far." That was all. After a long walk, they reached a river. It was wider than any river Adana had seen before. The water was dark, too dark, reflecting no stars. "How do we cross?" she asked. One of the women stepped forward. "We cross like this." She stepped into the water. No splash, no ripple. She simply moved across it as though walking on solid ground. Adana froze. Her breath caught in her throat. The others followed, one by one, walking across the river in silence. The groom turned to her. "Come." Her legs trembled. I cannot do that." He extended his hand. The moment she touched him, a coldness shot through her entire body. "You just walk," he said, and somehow she did. Her feet touched the surface of the water and did not think. They reached the other side. Adana quickly turned back. The woman who had first crossed was gone. Just gone. No footprint, no movement, no sound. Adana frowned. "Where is she?" she asked. No one answered. They kept walking. The forest grew thicker, the air colder. Even the sound of insects had disappeared. They reached another river, wider, darker. Again, they crossed the same way. Again, Adana forced herself to follow, but this time, she watched carefully. As they stepped onto the other side, one of the men at the back of the line faded. Not suddenly, slowly, like smoke being carried away by the wind. His body thinned, stretched, and then nothing. Adana gasped. "Did you see that?" No one responded, not even her husband. Her heart began to pound loudly in her chest. "What is happening?" she whispered. The groom finally looked at her. His eyes lingered too long. "You ask too many questions." His voice was different, still calm, but deeper, heavier. By now, Adana's legs were weak. "I want to go back," she said, her voice shaking. No one stopped. No one turned. The line kept moving. They reached the third river. This one was the worst. The water looked thick, almost like oil, and the smell, rotten, like something long dead. "I am not crossing this," Adana cried. The groom turned slowly. "You must." "No, I will go back home." For the first time, he smiled differently. Not warmly, but knowingly. There is no going back. They began to cross. Adana hesitated, but something pulled her forward. As she stepped onto the river, she looked down and saw not her reflection, but faces, faint, distorted faces beneath the surface, staring up at her. She screamed. When she reached the other side, she turned around in panic. Half of the procession was gone. Gone, not even fading this time, just gone. Only a few remained. The groom and 3 others. Their appearance was changing. Their fine clothes now looked dull, their skin less alive, their movements less human. Adana stumbled backward. "What are you people?" The groom stepped closer. His face flickered for a moment, just a moment. She saw it. Rotten flesh beneath perfect skin, empty eye sockets beneath bright eyes. Then it returned to normal. "You wanted a husband greater than all men." His voice now echoed like it came from far away. I am greater. Tears streamed down Adana's face. I want to go home. He shook his head slowly. You left home the moment you chose me. The remaining figures behind him began to vanish, one by one, not with fear, not with struggle, but as if their time in the world of the living had ended, until it was just him and her, standing in a place that no longer felt like the earth she knew. The forest around them changed. The path disappeared. The air grew thick and suffocating. And far ahead, dim lights flickered. A village, but not a living one. He reached for her hand again. This time, she could not resist. Welcome home, he whispered. Back in her village, people say that sometimes, late at night, near the rivers, you can hear footsteps on water and a faint voice crying, I want to go home. But the wind always carries the same answer back. There is no going back.